Good afternoon, and thank you very much for giving me a chance to speak. I'll basically talk today about, quickly, about what makes a city smart, because that's what we've been talking about, what is smart city and how we can make it smart. And I've been working in the area of smart cities for last about 20 years before we actually started talking about smart cities. And I have some evidence of that. About 16 years ago, we, myself and a colleague from New Zealand, we are just trying to transfer this. Okay. So as I said, I've been working in this area for about last 20 years, and in year 2000, we proposed, along with a colleague from New Zealand, we proposed a smart city proposal for Chandigarh that was considered by the administration for some time, and it was covered in the press. I'm also writing a book on smart cities, the Smart City Strategist, which is going to be released later next year. But to understand what makes a city smart, how is a smart city different from a great city, from a livable city, we need to really take a step back and understand how we evolved. So if you look at when we were cave people, what did we spend our most time on? Well, it was basically looking for food, looking for energy, and not just food, but great food, good food, which was rich in protein, which was rich in fat, energy, and good carbohydrates, right? Now, these days, it is all about information, right? So these days, we are looking for information, and not only information, but good information. And why is that? Because we need to make decisions. We need to make decisions every minute. Life is much more complex today. Earlier, when we were, 200, 300 years ago, for example, we just had one mode of transport, horse or horseback. But now we have so many transport options. Even if we look at car, there are tens of manufacturers and there are hundreds of models. Which model to choose? We need information. Whether it is car or even milk for that matter, we've got Parag, we've got Mother Dairy, we've got double tone, single tone, organic milk. We don't know what to choose, so it is very difficult. So we need information to make this decision. So whether it is our own regular life or decisions at city level, people who manage cities at day-to-day level, they need to make decisions all the time. But the problem is that there is no dearth of information. There's plenty of information. In fact, that is the problem. It's like drinking from fire hose, drinking water from fire hose. There's so much information. So to find that great information, useful information, that is the challenge. So how do we do that? There is a very quick formula to make a city smart. So governance is the key thing in making a city smart, because that's where the decisions are taken. Now for that, I'll give you a quick formula, which is called DIKW. Now DIKW stands for data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. You must have heard about this. So you have data, you process it, it becomes information. From information, we draw knowledge, and from knowledge, we generate that wisdom with which we make the decisions. And this decision is what governance is all about. If we make right decisions quickly, without errors, with evidence, that is how we make great decisions. So data, information and knowledge is all about past. We generate that from past data, and then we have wisdom and decisions for future. So how do we make use of this formula? For that, we've developed a tool which is called LESS, L-E-S-S, which stands for Local Area Envisioning and Sustainability Scoring System. Now, this was developed in Australia while where I was working for last 16 years, and it has won several awards, a national award, a state award in 2010. It was chosen one of the best tools for smart city innovations in Australia, ahead of several tools, including that given out by AECOM. What it really does, it gives you a good tool of coordination within the city. So it creates, as one of the panelists, in fact, as Srivastav Saab just said, that departments, different arms of city administration, they are not able to speak to each other. And because of that lack of coordination, there is so much reinventing of wheel, there is so much expenditure that happens. So this tool, LESS, allows you to coordinate between different arms of city administration. And I'll quickly go through, because I've got just 5 minutes. So this tool has been used in China, in Australia, and what it allows you to do, or the governance to do, is look at what the situation is in a city, in a precinct, in an area, before design intervention and after design intervention. For example, this we did for a city in Sydney, in a small area in Sydney. So the dotted line that you see here is the situation before design intervention took place. And all the issues that you see around that. So these are the issues where we measure the performance of the city. And then the orange blob that you see, it is after the design intervention. So before you actually implement something, you can see what the impact is going to be. So we did some other studies. I don't know, probably I don't have time today to go through all that. We did a study in Melbourne. We looked at where the soft infrastructure is and where the people are. And so we looked at demand and supply. So in certain areas it looked like there is a lot of infrastructure, but there were a lot of people living there where the availability was less. So we looked at the areas where there was spare capacity to house people with the same amount of infrastructure. So those sort of things we did. It's a very simple method where we look at what are the issues that we need to address. So for overall sustainability, we have to look at environment, economy, and social issues, and then we look at the themes, what the themes that we want to make progress in, and then we can monitor that. Probably that's something we can discuss later on. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to take them during the discussion. So thank you very much for